Being a caregiver for me says you have to be willing to care for the person, but also make room to care for yourself. Like a friend of mine reminded me um, when I had a young baby, when the baby takes a nap, take a nap. So caregiving for the person also must involve caregiving for yourself. Hearing the word cancer, um, it just is that type of feeling that one, you don't want to hear that diagnosis, but the other side of it for me is now what? So I would say the feeling is anguishing or anxiousness in many ways, but immediately after praying is now what do we need to do? Well, for me, the hardest part about supporting is really being present in that moment of what the greater need is, and at the same time trying to figure out, you know, are they going to be okay that next moment? So it's really um, a question, but also just living in that present space that says the cancer is real, and our faith and what we do, we're just going to live and live the best we can at this point. Well, caregiving through lung cancer, um, first for me was understanding the shock of the diagnosis. And then because of the nature of my husband's diagnosis, he had fallen and we didn't get the cancer diagnosis right away because the x-ray showed one set of things, and then when he did the CT scan, we got more information. So for me, caregiving has been a dynamic experience, lots of notes for this last 6 months, so very intentional. Being a caregiver for me says you have to be willing to care for the person, but also make room to care for yourself. So like a friend of mine reminded me when I had a young baby, when the baby takes a nap, take a nap. So caregiving for the person also must involve caregiving for yourself. My faith has kept me going on the hard days. And then I would say my family and my extended family. They are checking in and seeing how we're doing, but also being available. So when someone asks, how can we help you? It's been really good to see that they are responsive. In the meaningful impact or looking at what do I know now and what has helped me along the way, a lot of it is the ongoing education, and other things are just writing the person's number down, follow up, follow through, and ongoing prayer. And then when I don't know what that process has meant or is meaning at the time, don't hesitate to ask questions. Lots of moments have surprised me. I would say probably one of the most impactful was when my husband was going into surgery for his hip because he broke his hip, and that's how the cancer was discovered. But the pastor of our church came and prayed with all the persons on the team. And so every person that entered the room as he was preparing was prayed over. Growth in our lives, I would say, has been the daily dependence on reminding ourselves that God is still God. And when you hear the diagnosis that there is cancer, and you receive it and you go to bed that night and you wake up the next morning, the miracle is already started. So for me, it's a day by day dependence. If they had just become a caregiver, one of the things that I would say immediately to them is take a deep breath and have a conversation um, and dream with the person that they're caring for to see what the needs are, and then to find out resources from the palliative care team or their other care coordinating teams, because there's care support and they can't do it by themselves. So to think that they can do everything by themselves, they can't. So to let them know that immediately. I just would say the ongoing thing is caregiving is harder than um, anyone could ever imagine. Get educated about the process, but also find out resources in their community that can help them get respite and identify the best things for their home.